Birth Story 1. She'll be coming round the mountain. Mom desired an all-natural birth after being induced with her firstborn. Achieved childbirth vaginally without any medical interventions. Baby number 2, Lucia, born August 1st, weighed 6 pounds and 15 ounces. Gestation, 41 weeks, 0 days. Labor, natural onset of labor, lasted 8 hours, Schramm, and she pushed 3 times. Dear Lucia, on the morning of your birth, I heard your mom come into my room. She usually brought in your 15-month-old brother to wake me up, but she just opened the door and closed it. I was awake, so I got up and came out. It was 8 a.m., and I found your mom standing in the kitchen in a white t-shirt and her undies. She looked up at me and she said she was having some cramping and she wasn't sure if it was gas or labor or nothing at all. She was induced at 42 weeks with your brother and had never experienced what it was like to go into labor naturally. We'd been going on walks in the mountains for the past few weekends trying to get you to come out and play with us. Your mom decided to time the cramping. It was sporadic at 3 to 8 minutes apart. She said it just felt like lower menstrual cramps. We decided to go walking that morning through the mountains to see if labor progressed. When we walked up the hills, her contractions were 3 minutes apart. And when we walked down the hills, they were 7 minutes apart. It was a beautiful summer day in the mountains, cool, breezy, and shaded by all the trees. When we got back to the car, your mom was ready for a shower. We called your dad, who is a doctor of nursing, at work, and he said to go home and lie down for 30 minutes and see if the contractions picked up. When we arrived back to the house at 10:30 a.m., your mom took a long shower and started to have contractions that took her breath away. She wanted to take time to look pretty, so she blow-dried her hair and put on makeup. She said she wanted to watch a new movie, but the surges were building and growing closer together. Instead of sitting and watching a movie, she wanted to walk again. When we timed them, the contractions were 3 to 5 minutes apart. Your 12-year-old Aunt Abby made your mom a plate of spaghetti so she would have the energy to deliver you. Then your mom started nesting. She was ordering everyone to clean up and put things away, and she really wanted the laundry folded. Her contractions were coming faster and much stronger, but she was able to ignore most of them and keep doing life. I tried to get your mom to stop and rest by giving her a massage. She loves massages, and I mean like loves. But during labor, she did not want to be massaged or touched at all. She said some really funny things about what rubbing her back felt like. The point was, it was a hands-off labor from the doula. She just wanted emotional support and to know that your dad and I were there to help her. Soon, your dad walked in the door from work. The first thing we did was go for another walk up another mountain that they lived on. The view was extraordinarily beautiful, but it was around noon in August and it was really hot outside now. Your mom was having contractions every 2 minutes that were lasting 30 to 45 seconds. She wanted her hair up in a ponytail and to stay in the shade as much as possible. She also wanted nothing to do with going to the hospital on the 411 advice that had been given. We were way beyond that, and she was cozy on the side of a mountain. Pop out 411 advice. Deciding when to go to the hospital is often one of the most stressful decisions for a birthing mom. Moms don't want to show up too early and to be turned away, but they also don't want to wait too long and risk having their baby at home. Your provider may encourage you to wait at home until your contractions are 4 minutes apart and they last for at least 1 minute, and this has been going on for over 1 hour. If you are a first-time mom, 411 is typically very early on in your labor. You would likely have plenty of time to get to the hospital and many more hours or even days of labor once you get there. The contraction pattern at the very end of labor is more typically 1 to 3 minute apart contractions lasting for 1 to 1.5 to 2 minutes. Most of my clients who live near the hospital and desire a natural childbirth will choose to wait closer to 311 before heading to the hospital. In between contractions, she just kept walking. She laughed in between every contraction and said it felt so good to laugh. An hour into our walk, things took a turn. She stopped laughing and had to really focus on getting through each contraction. On the descent home, her contractions were growing stronger and longer, and she had to stop and grab onto both your dad and me when the contractions started. She breathed and squeezed, and then we walked some more. Contractions remained 2 minutes apart and lasted 60 to 90 seconds. She was in active labor. When we got home from the walk, she sat on the birthing ball to labor and relax. This is the first time she felt a slight urge to push. Things happened rapidly from there. Your mom looked up at me after a contraction and said she was ready to go to the hospital to deliver you. Your mom had only 1 contraction in the car on the way because you live so close to the hospital where you were born. Your mom got put in a wheelchair and was rolled straight into a birthing room, bypassing triage. When we arrived, it was 2 p.m. and there were 2 nurses helping us. Your mom wanted it to be very quiet and peaceful in the room. She was deep into the labor zone now. No more laughing or talking or walking. Your mom labored on the bed for 20 minutes so they could monitor your heart rate in relation to each contraction. Everything was just fine, so they unhooked her and let her labor where she wanted. She shifted between the birthing chair, the toilet, and the bed. She labored the most on her hands and knees on the bed and lying over the birthing ball. She was now okay with touch, and I was able to massage her back for the rest of labor. The nurse checked her dilation, and she was 7 centimeters. Not even 15 minutes later, she checked her cervix in the middle of a contraction, and she was 8 to 9 centimeters. She guided herself through transition with self-hypnosis and deep mindful relaxation. The nurse had a hard time tracing your heart tones with the portable monitor, so they asked your mom if she would move to the bed. We set the bed up like a chair, so not to lose the power of gravity. This is where your mom had her bloody show. Pop out, bloody show. Later, I will share how normal it is for your vaginal fluid to increase and for you to start to lose your mucus from your mucus plug. Throughout active labor, you will continue to produce mucus and vaginal fluid and lightly bleed as the cervix thins and dilates. In labor, I want you to remember that our cervix is vascular and hyper-irritable. As your baby descends and its head puts pressure on the cervix to efface and open, these blood vessels will pop, causing bleeding. It is normal to lightly bleed throughout your entire labor because of this. As a doula, I am always really excited to see bloody show, as it is one way to affirm cervical progress without an internal exam. During the next contraction, the ejection reflex triggered, and she started pushing naturally. On that first push, her water burst. At this point, it was just your dad and me and your laboring mom. On the next contraction, she exclaimed, "I feel the head." Your dad and I looked down, and there you were. I ran out of the room to get help, stating, "The baby is coming out." The doctor had not made it to the hospital yet, so the nurse ran in to deliver you on the next contraction. Honestly, you came out so fast with just 3 total pushes. Your mom mostly let her body push you down, and she breathed you out. Your dad cut your umbilical cord after it had stopped pulsating, and they put you right onto your mom's chest. She wanted to be skin to skin, so they pulled off her black tank top and helped you to nurse. Your placenta was still inside your mom when the doctor arrived, so he waited for the placenta to release and delivered her afterbirth naturally. Your mom was losing excess blood, but she did not have any internal or vaginal tearing. Her nurse started IV fluids and gave her a shot of Pitocin in her thigh to help her uterus contract and slow the bleeding. They were able to control the bleeding successfully with these few interventions and prevented a hemorrhage. Lucia, you weighed 6 pounds and 15 ounces and were 20.5 inches long. You were so peaceful and quiet with the softest cry. Your mom is my best friend, my sister, and the glue that holds me together. You are so lucky to have her. Much love, your auntie, aka your doula, Heidi. To hear my sister's full birth story, listen to episode 2 on my Birth Story podcast. Birth affirmation. All of the strength I need is inside of me.